baby. Chicago Bears rumors are heating up as the NFL Combine is rolling along. Stay tuned for the end of the video. I have a couple of draft meetings notes as prospects are starting to talk to the media. But we got two big storylines to hit first. My name is Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. And guys, February is wrapping up. Got just a few days left. Let's put the pedal to the metal and take down the Packers Report this month. We've almost tripled them up. Can we triple up the Packers Report and new subscribers? We've taken over on the field after a long wait. Let's continue to dominate off the field. Subscribe, free and daily Bears content. No one's pumping out more Bears content than we are. All right, Trent Williams. This was a bombshell yesterday. Could he become available? And if he does, could the Bears sign him? As would there be a better stopgap left tackle option than a future Hall of Famer? Obviously a lot to go through here, especially with the financials. So let's get to the report first from Adam Schefter yesterday, saying that Trent Williams and the Niners are kind of struggling to find a contractual solution because his cap hit of $39 million next year. The Niners are trying to find a new deal for him. He has no guaranteed money left on his contract. So Schefter later says if something can't be agreed to, he could join this free agent class, a.k.a. he could be released. Now, whether that would be with the pre-June 1st or post-June 1st designation, I'm not sure. That's obviously on San Francisco to figure out if it gets to this point. But just kind of imagine for a second. Imagine a world where Trent Williams plugs in at left tackle for the Chicago Bears. He would be on the left side, future Hall of Famer. Joe Thuney next to him, future Hall of Famer. Drew Dalman, I would say a top 5 center currently in the NFL. Jonah Jackson would be your weak link, and he is a very good guard, top 15, top 20 guard in the NFL. Darnell Wright, who was a second-team All-Pro, ascending right tackle. That, to me, is the best offensive line in the NFL if that happened. I don't know how anyone could say otherwise on paper. Now, injuries, if some declining play, who knows? But this is not really a guy who's declining. Maybe a tad, but if he's gone from the best left tackle in the NFL to okay, he's top 3 or 4, that is still a dominant player. 3rd overall per PFF among tackles. Really good in pass pro still, and dominant in the run game. Now, the question would be, obviously, what would it cost? How much, if he frees up, would it be? Because clearly the Niners want to keep him. We're going to get to John Lynch here in a little bit and what he said at the NFL Combine. So if they can't come to terms, how much would it cost the Bears or another team to bring him in? I think guaranteed money would be the key. To me, I'd be looking at this like a 1 or 2 year deal, probably a 2-year deal to manipulate the cap a little bit, and you probably have to give him about 28 or even $30+ million guaranteed. I was kind of fiddling last night. 2 years, $50 million with 30 guaranteed, whereas there's kind of an out after this upcoming year with a dead cap penalty of less than $10 million if both sides want to move on. It's pretty tempting, and I know you're saying, well, Harrison, defense, and I hear you. But he instantly becomes the best free agent available if he gets cut. I don't even think that's debatable. I like Trey Hendrickson as much as anybody. Trent Williams is a more impactful player in 2026, in my opinion. And look, you could still you could take a volume approach on defense. Find some, a couple of those second-tier free agents. Draft a lot of guys on that side of the ball. You get Trent Williams, you might have the best offense in the league next year. And Caleb Williams said that's a goal of his. You want Caleb Williams to enter superstardom. Adding Trent Williams certainly would not hurt that cause and that goal. Now, John Lynch weighed in on this because this report came before he spoke to the media at the NFL Combine. Chat Sports has boots on the ground. Here's what Lynch had to say.
Well, what I'll tell you is that, in recent weeks I've met with both Trent and with his agent, Vincent Taylor, and had really good, productive, and substantive meetings. And so here's what I know. Trent loves being a Niner. We love having Trent as a Niner. And it's up to us to figure that out and to thread that needle. There's some unique circumstances in that we all know what Trent is as a player, how great of a player he's been. He's going to be 38 years old, and so there's some things that go into that. But I think we're all on the same page and feel very positive about where that's going.
Look, Trent Williams, I'm sure, would prefer to stay with San Francisco. The Niners would prefer to keep him. They have big offensive line issues if they don't. and it is a long shot, but if it happens where he frees up and becomes available as a free agent, to be clear, I'm not trading for that contract. I don't think anyone is. But if he became available, I'm interested. I mean, if I'm Ryan Poles, I'm at least checking in with Trent Williams' agent, like, hey, like, what are you looking for in the guarantees? And, if we can make something work, maybe this is a situation where it'd be worth adding a void year or two to keep that cap hit down, because you would still want to spend some money on the defensive side of the ball. I understand that. But this is a generational Hall of Fame player, even at his advanced age. He's that good. I mean, the bookend of tackles with him and Darnell Wright, and then with Joe Thuney on the interior, with Dalman and Jonah Jackson, that's a dominant group. And the best teams in the NFL are very good up front. And the Bears have a good offensive line regardless, but they have a big-ass question mark at left tackle. That gets cleared up pretty quickly if you add Trent Williams. So we'll see. We'll see how this continues to unfold. If I had to guess, I would say that probably something gets worked out with San Francisco, but Schefter wouldn't put that out if it wasn't at least a possibility and if there weren't some troubles going on in the negotiations between the two parties. So stay tuned. I'm certainly going to keep a close eye on this situation. Should the Bears sign Trent Williams if he gets cut? Type S for sign or P for pass. I am looking into that very closely if I am Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. All right, Maxx Crosby, we're going to dive into this. John Spytek, the Raiders GM, weighed in on the Crosby situation yesterday. We'll hear from him. Plus, an ESPN insider told a Chat Sports colleague of mine something very, very interesting when it comes to a potential Maxx Crosby trade. You are not going to want to miss that. But let's talk about our sponsor first. That is Ethos. Guys, life insurance is not a fun topic to talk about, but it's very important, especially if you're like me. You got a family, you got a wife, you got a child. Thinking about their livelihoods makes it easier to discuss those things, and so I'm glad I found Ethos as my life insurance provider. I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happened to me, there's real consequences like mortgage payments, tuition, bills. Those things don't just disappear. Life can throw you curveballs, and it's best that you stay prepared. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. Ethos has no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can even get up to $3 million in coverage, and some policies are as low as $30 per month with Ethos. As of March of last year, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 medical exam instant insurance provider. So don't take my word for it. Lots of folks use Ethos. Over 3,000 reviews, 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary as well. Check the link in the comments and description to get started today. Okay, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler roaming around the NFL Combine. Mitchell Renz, our Raiders Report host, had a quick chat with him, didn't film it or anything, wasn't a formal interview, but I will read you the direct message that Mitch sent me based on what he asked Jeremy Fowler. He messaged me yesterday, said, quote, "I spoke with Jeremy Fowler about Maxx Crosby. He said without hesitation, he thought the top team to make a trade was the Bears." That's straight from Jeremy Fowler to Mitchell Renz. And it's not like he was like, hey, this is off record. Like, he just flat out said that. So is it a report? I mean, he didn't say it on ESPN, but he told our Raiders guy who covers the Raiders in the Maxx Crosby situation that if they were to make him available, he believes the top team would be the Chicago Bears to trade for him. And now, is that him guessing? Is that based on intel? Is that both? I'm not sure, but Jeremy Fowler is pretty tapped in. And look, let's face it, we've talked about this for a while now, not only with Crosby, but just the need to bolster this pass rush, and he changes a lot. If you get Maxx Crosby, he is a true multiplier. You start him with Montez Sweat on the other side. Booker's an excellent number 3, in my opinion, and then you beef up that interior the best you can around that trio of edge rushers. You could do that. That front 4 is looking pretty promising. Add some speed to your back 7, and this defense could be a whole lot better in 2026 than it was in 2025. So what now? Well, now the Raiders, along with Maxx, have to decide what do they want. Is he a part of their future? Does he want to go through another rebuild? Is it a true long-term rebuild? Or are they going to try to fast-track a rebuild in Las Vegas? Spytek, who we'll get to in a second, in a separate comment said that he doesn't necessarily believe and trotting out a rookie quarterback right away. So, like, are they bringing in a bridge quarterback as well? Like, I just think that Crosby has made it clear he wants to win, he wants to contend, and I don't think the Raiders are doing that in 2026. I don't think they're really doing that in 2027. So does he want to wait at least 2 years for things to turn the corner there in Vegas when he's over 30 years old at that point, or does he want to contend right now? Those are conversations that are ongoing between his camp and the Raiders. Now, here's what Spy Tech, the Raiders GM, had to say about Maxx Crosby and his relationship with him.
I am. Maxx is an elite player, and I've been very upfront from the start when I got here that, you know, we're in the business of having really good players on the team, and we need a lot more of them. And, you know, it's hard to build a great team without elite players.
What has been your communication like with Crosby the last month or so?
Maxx and I have a great relationship. He's in the building every day, getting healthy right now. We talk on the phone, we text. So I have a great relationship with Maxx.
I think that we will know that if Maxx Crosby is getting traded by free agency. I think that's the soft deadline. I think they all got to be on the same page. March 9th is the legal tampering period. I think between now and then we have an answer on whether he's getting traded. Now, that doesn't mean he'll be a Bear. That doesn't mean that it's going to be publicly announced. But I think we will have a feel by the end of the combine and closer to free agency whether or not they're going to move on from Maxx Crosby. So, you know, clearly if he's available, I'm interested. I think the Bears would be interested. I think probably 10 other teams would be interested. So what's the cost? Those are all things they'd have to figure out. But two big-name players that can, you know, change the direction of a franchise could be available this offseason. And I want to hear from you. Would you rather sign Trent Williams, type S, or trade for Maxx Crosby, type T? If both were free agents, you would just sign Crosby. He's 8 years younger. But obviously, if you trade for him, that costs you draft picks as well. So would you rather sign Trent Williams or trade for Maxx Crosby? Let me know in the comment section. All right, a couple of draft meeting notes here. The Bears have met with Texas linebacker Anthony Hill. Here's a quick thought from him on how that meeting went.
I did have a chance to talk with Chicago. I had a great time talking with them. We talked a lot of football, went through some plays. It was a good interview.
Obviously not giving away too much there, but saying he had a great meeting with Chicago. Athletic linebacker, I think he could test well. Based on what I've seen, I think he has coverage skills ability, but it was hit and miss when I watched him at Texas. And something Cullen said, I think he put it well when we were talking before filming, is like, he's got all the tools, but he hasn't quite put it all together yet. Can that happen in the NFL with some NFL coaching and development? I think that's certainly possible. Day 2 guy, could he get to 57? I'm not sure he falls that far. I think he's probably early, mid-second round, so we'll see if he's in the Bears range or not. Kristen Miller, who I mocked to Chicago in my last mock, the Georgia defensive tackle, said he is meeting with the Bears today. We will publish a short later on that clip potentially, so stay tuned. Posting a lot of short-form content on the channel, so another reason to subscribe. And then the Godfather, Dante Corleone, Cincinnati. I know producer Cullen's a big fan of his. Big boy, kind of a nose tackle type for sure. He is meeting with the Bears. Also, said he already met with the Bears, right? So not this. So this one, I don't know if it happened today or yesterday, but said it was a good meeting, and we moved. So today we're hearing from defensive linemen, linebackers. So, this information will continue to pour in. So subscribe to the channel, short-form content. I'll also be posting on my social medias. Twitter and then Instagram stories is where a lot of these draft meeting notes will be, because I'll just tweet it out and share it on my IG story. So at @HRAMNFL. I'll post short form content on TikTok as well. So give me a follow over there. Facebook also. It's a busy week. At @HRAMNFL, Facebook.com/HRAMNFL for that platform. We got you guys covered with Bears content on a minute-to-minute, hourly basis on social media, then multiple videos a day here on the channel as well. My name is Harrison Graham. Thank you guys so much for supporting, tuning in, and all of that stuff. Busy week ahead. We continue to cover it all for you guys. Hit that sub button. We'll see you soon.